Bev, there's three of us.
And this microphone is what you'll speak into. It picks up pretty nicely without having to, yes. And so the school board will be sitting so you can just have your phone here and kind of just recite the essay.
We keep getting uninvited.
And that's good.
Well, it's a federal
Civil
rights thing.
Okay.
They're specifically
Okay.
or red, whatever. Yeah. I don't think we've had one yet.
Okay.
So it reminds me of that Rush football game.
Yep.
You see that commercial where a guy chances a dog or something.
I think Andrew emailed us and I was like, my only question is really miniature horses?
Yeah, that's dogs and miniature horses are specifically mentioned.
Yes.
Agenda for tomorrow.
Yes.
Okay.
trying to think if I have anything for you. Can't think of it. Okay, I'll send you a text. Oh, sure. Yeah. Okay. Okay. That sounds good. Thank you.
It did work. Except for this.
I thought
It was colder. It was colder when it left though.
Well, it was good. I had to run in at 9.
Yeah. Right.
You're
So
going?
anyway, that was good.
Oh,
Yeah, it did kick in
how
though.
was it?
They played Omaha, but Dale and Kathy,
Yep.
their niece plays for USC.
I like that. I'm going Saturday.
So if they win big, goes to Reagan Center.
All right.
She played the last 3 minutes and she hit a 3, got a game. She was really productive in that time.
Okay, so I
That's,
to.
that's what I said. Saturday and Sunday. And then I also got
Peg's down in Lincoln.
Patty says
Yeah, you need her.
Good.
Yeah.
super cold it was.
Baby.
I have one of this.
2 minutes to.
I always tell them, you don't understand. This is still the normal man.
Of the man flu.
Oh, thank you. Or just leave it. Or just leave it. I like Christmas lights. Just leave it.
Oh, thanks, Tom.
This thing.
Oh,
Time.
I did. Another one?
God doesn't remember the coach used to do.
So
No.
nice.
What's going on?
I did see, who was the OC before Stefanski? Was it Filippo or
Shermer, he went to
Sherman?
Denver. Before him was the guy he's now at. Now at Jacksonville. I can't
He was.
Oh, he got fired. Well, they ain't gonna hire him back.
Is that one
Fired
we
him
all
in Jacksonville.
oh,
He didn't make one season.
Wasn't he OC in Minnesota?
Yeah, for like 10 games. He refused to run the ball.
If it's any consolation, I thought the Vikings looked like the most complete. 49ers.
Oops.
You're like, you really aren't feeling well, are you?
I really go. I always wanted to make that San Diego.
That was just this week.
Call the meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The board member Parker is absent this evening. Just wanted to announce that, and I just wanted to remind people that this coming Monday is the first of the Boundary Task Force meetings right here in this room. So please attend if you can. And they just wrapped up the questionnaire on the superintendent search, so that we should be getting the profile leadership on that. Thank you. Moving on to the approval of the minutes of the meetings held December 19th and January 8th. Do I have a motion? So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. There are nobody's here to address the board this evening. Move on to approval of the agenda, please.
So moved.
Do I have a
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor of approving the agenda signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. On to the good news report.
Good evening. Each year, Sioux Falls 7th and 8th grade students are invited to participate in a human rights essay contest that's sponsored by many civic organizations and nonprofits here in Sioux Falls. December 10th is actually Human Rights Day, observed around the world. That was the day that the Universal Declaration of Human Rights was signed. It was drafted by representatives with different legal and cultural backgrounds from all regions of the world. The declaration was proclaimed by the United Nations General Assembly in Paris on December 10th, 1948, as a common standard of achievements for all peoples and all nations. We're pleased to inform you tonight that 2 Patrick Henry students were the winners of this year's contest. 7th grade Calla Friesman and 8th grader Isabel Brown were named this year's winners. Calla has a previous commitment, like many of our students in the district, a very busy person. I believe she's at gymnastics right now. And we are pleased to have Isabel join us right before she goes to a piano lesson. So again, appreciative of her mother for bringing her here this evening. Isabel will share her essay with you, and then if you have any comments or questions afterwards. Both of these students were recognized publicly in December, on December 10th at the Multicultural Center, as they are a contributing sponsor to this award. So we will have Isabel share with us.
We all know that hunger is a driving force. It pushes people to steal, lie, and even kill. This is a true story, as my grandmother tells it. It was 1976 in Vietnam, one year after the war had ended. The Hongs were the wealthy upper class, but after the communists came, the money was rendered useless. So, food was scarce, meat even more so. Monsoon season had started, and the torrent of rain that poured down was endless. Thunder cracked overhead. Through all that rain and confusion, the neighbor's fat duck waddled into their backyard. My grandmother's brothers waited, and there! They'd captured the duck, but what about killing the animal? If this was a normal situation, my grandmother would chop off the head with a knife. They can't know. But all that noise is the last thing they needed now. So her brothers devised a plan. When a thunderclap sounded, she would bring down the heavy knife. Boom! Now! The whack of the knife against the chopping board was just audible over the thunder. Wait, they still needed to cook it. So they brought it to their mother, and that night they had the most delicious meal in ages. My grandmother tells these types of stories with a laugh on her lips and a smile in her eyes. But when I imagine these situations, I realize how much we take something as simple as eating for granted. But for many people, not having anything to eat at night is the usual.
Thank you for presenting that this evening, and congratulations. So are you a 7th grader, is that what you're, 8th grader? But that's amazing writing already as an 8th grader at Patrick Henry, so I appreciate you sharing that story, and so neat that you can have that family history as well as history of where your family came from as part of your life, because I think that's so important for all of us as growing up and being able to share that with others. So thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Is this something that was part of an English class or something you just decided to do on your own?
It's something that I did on my own, but it went through my English language arts teachers.
So it's nice to see things that aren't required, but things that you enjoy writing, I take it. So it's awesome when you have a way to use some of your gifts to explore other things in the community that are available and to get recognition for that as well. So congratulations and thanks for your extra work.
Thank you, Isabel. No new conflicts of interest were presented for this evening. Do you have a motion to approve the consent agenda items 11A through E?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. On to the supplemental consent agenda. Do I have a motion to approve? No items. Oh, no items, yep. Reports of the superintendent. Dr. Maher.
Okay, we have two reports tonight. The first report is in regard to our district-run mentoring program. Here to give that report is Assistant Superintendent Dr. Teresa Boyson.
Good evening. Tonight I have the 4th year report on the district-run mentor program. The mentor program, I have to either use the clicker or not use it. There we go. The mentor program follows the district's strategic plan, and under priority area 3, priority area statement 6, the Sioux Falls School District will explore strategies to retain high-quality staff and the strategic initiative to review the implementation of the district-run mentor program. The state mentoring program was created by the state of South Dakota, the Department of Ed, in the fall of 2016 to support zero-year teachers or brand new teachers to the classroom. And for the purpose of this report, a new teacher is defined as a teacher with 0 or 1 year experience. Up to 2 years experience they can have to receive mentoring services. So these are teachers new to the profession in South Dakota. The program provides teachers with 0 years experience access to that mentor for 2 years. The mentoring program provides these experiences for mentors and mentees to build strong relationships through the sharing of knowledge, leveraging of skills, and cultivating talent. The primary goal of the relationship is personal and professional development for teachers in their first 2 years. Through the mentoring relationship, mentors have opportunity to coach, guide, and share experiences, knowledge, and skills which contribute to the mentee's development. Nationally, over 40% of new teachers leave the profession within the first 5 years. The retention rate for the Sioux Falls School District with teachers with less than 5 years experience is 74%. So we retain those new teachers. Evidence suggests that strong mentoring and induction for novice teachers is a valuable strategy. The Sioux Falls District's in the 4th year of the district-run mentor program to support first and second year teachers. The district instructional coaches serve as mentors for classroom teachers, and content area teachers serve as mentors in the area of fine arts and physical education because we don't have instructional coaches in those areas. The format allows coaches to focus on high-impact instructional strategies to build the capacity through structured professional learning opportunities. This slide, you can see the number of new teachers that we have had in the program over the last 4 years. The 2019-2020, we have 70 brand new teachers with 1 year. This is their first year in teaching as a profession, and we have 36 that are in year 2. So those are the teachers that are receiving those mentor-mentee services. Some of the requirements for the mentor program are as follows. The mentors attend a face-to-face seminar. They attend the kickoff with the new teachers. That's a 6-hour kickoff. They provide 34 hours of mentoring, which is about an hour a week throughout the school year. A webinar, they attend 3 webinars. They attend the Summer Academy. They maintain that mentor log to document those 34 hours. And then they have opportunity to use the swivel camera so they can film those classroom teachers and provide feedback with that. And those swivel cameras are provided by the state. The new teachers are they attend the kickoff with their mentor. They participate in those 34 hours, and then they attend the Summer Academy with their mentor for a day and a half in June. So that, and like I said, the district-run mentor program is funded by the Department of Ed to support new teachers. Each mentor in the area of fine arts and PE receive a stipend upon completing these requirements. However, the instructional coaches do not receive that compensation as is part of their duties. They do receive a small stipend for the webinar and the Summer Academy because those are outside their instructional hours. The funding from the DOE is used to develop the instructional coaches' skills and provide growth for the coaching group. Instructional coaches are an invaluable resource, and they have the power to influence teachers, student learning, and culture. Effective coaches can ensure that 90% of the learning transfers into the classroom. We feel fortunate to have that program and that opportunity for our new teachers. And in summary, nationally, 40% of new teachers leave the profession within 5 years. Evidence suggests that strong mentoring and induction of novice teachers can be a valuable strategy to retain new teachers and improve their effectiveness. The district-run mentor program, in collaboration with the South Dakota Department of Ed, provides teachers with 0 years of teaching experience access to mentors for 2 years. I'll stand by for any questions and ask that you acknowledge the report.
What an amazing stat, 74%. So kudos to everyone in the district for helping retain those teachers. That's a tremendous cost savings to our district and not having to train additional teachers and so forth if we were at that 40% average. And I think we and you all know that if a teacher would change, say, grade level or content area, we have instructional coaches that if they don't qualify within that 0 to 2 year program. So we have something that we do as well for those teachers to keep them hopefully on the right path as well.
Right, it's a very structured first and second year with those new teachers, but our instructional coaches help all teachers. And so if they transfer grade levels or change content areas, they're there to support, but they're also there to support even if they stay within that same area. So instructional coaches are invaluable to the district.
Any questions? Do you have a motion to acknowledge the district-run mentor program report?
So moved.
A motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Okay, our second report tonight comes from Operational Services and Jeff Kreider. It'll be an update on our 2020 construction projects and will actually be a public hearing.
It worked tonight. Pretty good. Okay, tonight we're going to have our public hearing and run through our projects that we're doing for this upcoming summer and just a little bit beyond. We have 8 projects tonight. The first 4 will be have a combination of capital outlay and bonds. So as we go through these, we'll go through them, then we'll have our public meeting at the end. If you have some questions during the thing, we can ask them while we're going through there if you want. Okay, the first one is Robert Frost Elementary. This will be security entrance, gymnasium addition, and renovation projects. The bond portion will construct the new security entrance and administrative area on the east side of the building, expand the existing gymnasiums to meet the district standards, and expand 2 kindergarten restrooms also to meet standards and ADA. The capital portion relating to this project is construct a drop-off area along 4th Avenue, east of the building, construct ADA ramps on 38th and 40th Street, replace the main chiller, update the intercom and clock systems, and replace quarter tile and ceilings in various areas throughout the building. The project will be bid early 2020 with completion scheduled for August. Our hope is to get it done by school start, but it's a big project, so if we do, we might be pushing the gymnasium out a little bit. But our goal is to try to set it up to be done by school start. If you look at the projects, it's part of the bond and also part of the 1920, the current budget year, and next budget year. And all these projects are like that, so I'm not going to say that again, except for Cleveland, that goes into 3 budget years. So, but part of it, to get with where we spend the money, we'll start this spring, and then July is our fiscal year, and then we'll get to July and August to finish it up. So that's kind of how the budget is working on the capital side. But the bond portion is $1.58 million, and the capitals is $697,000. Next project is Horace Mann Elementary. This is also a security entrance and renovation project. If you recall in the CIP, the security ones were brought forward to get done. One of the first renovation ones. So that's why they're the first ones out of the chute, with the exception of the growth ones. But this one, the bond portion, does the administrative area, renovates existing administration areas so they can use it again, and construct a new parking lot. The capital portion renovates 6 existing classrooms, re-roof the areas adjacent to the construction. If you recall, we did the roof on most of the school last year, but we held off on this knowing we're going to be disrupting that, so we didn't want to do this portion. Install vestibule and stairs in the northwest corner of the building, update fire alarm, intercom, and clock systems, remove existing galvanized piping in the tunnels, and overlay existing asphalt playground surfaces. This project will also be bid early 2020 and will be complete by August 2020. The bond portion constructs pretty much the bond portion is $1.6 million. And that includes some furnishings with that, and the capital is $592,000. With that, if you look at your CIP, we are delaying a portion of this. So just so you're aware of that. And the classroom portion is being put on hold until the end of the CIP, or just pushed back until we can evaluate the program enrollment trends. This year it's down slightly, and they're projecting next year might be down a little bit more. So we want to make sure that it's a viable addition before we move forward with it. Next one is Lower Wilde Elementary. This is the ADA elevator, stair addition, and renovation project. The bond portion constructs a new playground entrance with the elevator and stairs, and also provides areas for tutor rooms, IEP facilitator, and some counselors to meet the district standards. Then the admin intern will move into the counselor's area. There's some dominoes that will happen inside that addition. And then we'll also provide an ADA restroom on the second level for staff. Capital portion renovates 8 existing restrooms, replaces galvanized piping throughout the building, and repaints corridors and replaces corridor floor tile. The cost sharing of this is, the bond is $878,000 with $22,000 of furnishings, and the capital outlay is $665,000. This is probably the biggest renovation one we have for the CIP as far as that, and this is Cleveland. The reason we're moving this one forward to this is what we want to get this bid probably November, December, and typically our public hearings are in January, so we want to have the public hearing prior to that so we can bid it, and that's why we're moving this forward. But this one is intended to be bid next year, but this one constructs a new gymnasium. It'll be very similar to Rosa Parks Pettigrew type gym, and be a storm shelter as well, and construct additional kindergarten classroom, speech room, IEP facilitator, and various building additions. So this one, there's a lot of dominoes in the project. So this will be one of the bigger ones, and we have to move in before we can open up the areas throughout. So there'll be a lot of work with the building and how we're going to do this and move forward and get this all accomplished. But the existing multi-purpose room will turn into general music rooms. The existing gym will turn into a multi-purpose, where the food is served, and then we'll have to expand the playground where that gym is being relocated. So some of the capital projects associated with this is remove existing glass block windows. That's in the gym currently. Replace all the single pane windows throughout the school. Replace and update the existing boilers. Update fire alarm, intercom, and clock systems, and also remove existing galvanized piping. So this one will be bid winter late 2020. With completion of August 2022. There'll be 2 summers for this project. So there'll be some dominoes, and we'll have to slow the thing down because we won't be able to accomplish some of that while school still is going on. So the bond portion is 5.533, furnishing equipment is approximately $120,000, and the capital portion is $1.65 million. So this is probably our most ambitious one, very similar to some of the CIP projects that we accomplished 10 years ago. That was the last bond project. Then we'll move to Oscar Howe. This is a library renovation. We're going to renovate the library similar to library renovations we did at JFK about 10 years ago now. And we'll be installing some full and half walls around the perimeter to identify the corridors around the library. We'll expand the library workroom into the reading pit and an old reading recovery area. The work will include casework, floor covering, and ceiling and lighting. Part of the reason this is scheduled now is all the flooring is coming due. We didn't want to redo the flooring when we knew this was coming, so we're trying to schedule this in an efficient, manner that's not going to cost us or we tear something out that is not needed. So this will be bid spring of 2020 with completion of August 20. We won't be starting this project until school is out. The cost for this is $290,000. Annie Sullivan Elementary music area renovation project. This is also a capital project. We're going to renovate the music area similar to what we did at John Harris Elementary last summer. This will expand the band and orchestra and general music areas into reclaimed space where the old computer lab was, where the book room and resource areas, and the new classroom will be designed to the district standards. This will be bid probably this spring and start as soon as school is out and completed for the start of the school. This estimated cost is $295,000. Okay, and Axtell Park School. This is phase 2 of the air conditioning replacement project. This is a continuation of the project we completed last year. Last year we did all the classrooms. We put the chiller and the chilled water system in. We have some rough pins ready for this to go, but this basically takes the DX coils and replaces them with chilled water coils in the auditoriums, the multipurpose room, the gyms, and so forth. And so this will finish really the bulk of the air conditioning project. Phase 3, that equipment that we can domino this, but there'll be about 15 years, 10 to 15 years, and then you go into that, because that equipment's really new. The stuff we're replacing now, all the condensing units are 91, so they're about due to be replaced, and so we've been kind of phasing this in. And this project will be bid this winter, and will start after school's out, and approximately $500,000. And the last one is a group of projects at Southeast Tech. The first portion is an addition for the veterinary tech program. This is an addition and then renovation of 2 existing classrooms. Basically, we're putting it on the east side of the building, and we'll be opening up those 2 classrooms so it's all one suite. This project is estimated at $1.53 million. The next one is at Ed Wood Lab expansion. This is probably a good thing because the program is successful. They need more space to train people. So this will construct some mods in a storage room right adjacent to their lab. And this is estimated at $86,000. Then we move on to Health Science Center, the dental lab renovation. This project will renovate 2 existing conference rooms. They're about a little over, both of them are just a little bigger than a classroom. And this will go into a dental training lab for their new dental program. That's estimated about $149,000. And then a little addition or a little renovation at the hub building. This is enclosed at upper level. I don't know if you've been there, but they had where they thought a student lounge would be perfect, but they don't use it very much. They've actually started using it as a training area. People want to use it up there. So this will enclose it to allow for them to have some training sessions during the day and just basically control sound. And this is $28,000. Then we move to the Mickelson Center. This project renovates the old administrative area into usable space for student services and marketing. This is the space that the old administration was in, and they moved to the hub building. So this space has been very underutilized for the last couple of years. The work will include new walls, casework, flooring, and ceilings in this area, and estimated cost of $370,000. And the last piece of this is pedestrian lighting. The pedestrian lighting poles and stuff are getting pretty rusty and not so good, and opportunity to change them out to LED lights. And so looking at the pedestrian lighting on campus, about $80,000. So if you look at all those, and we're kind of trying to put this into one bid package so we get some efficiencies there. And we're looking at bidding this early 2020 with completions 2020 of August, so in time for school start. At least the portions that we need to be done. So the total estimate of all those projects is about $2.2 million. So with that, that concludes my talking. So
Open it up to a public hearing. Anybody from the public would like to make comment? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Any board members have questions or comments for?
Just thinking about how excited some of those kids are going to be to come back to school in the fall and see a new gym or a new library or not a new gym, but new spaces that are going to be updated and bright and fresh. And so that's exciting at a lot of our buildings that we have these projects going on. So
yeah, there's a lot of buildings we touched, and these are just some of them. So
it's good to
in the
remind
summer.
the public too that what our bond was not just the two new big buildings.
Yeah,
We
we
led the
kinda-
2019 City of Sioux Falls building permits. It's these other projects are as well coming forward. So
and keeping our maintenance current. So we're following the plan. I think a lot of these, if you look back on that CIP, where we put the additions and we put the preventive maintenance and what's scheduled for the next 5 years, you'll see a lot of those show up in that document. So.
thank you.
So with that, I think the recommendations to acknowledge the public hearings and authorize administration to complete the planning process and proceed to the bidding phase of the project.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
On to- Are you going to present?
I am.
Thank you.
Okay, so in an effort to keep the school board policies and regulations updated, members of administration and the policy review committee meet to review them on a cyclical basis. And so the following policies have been reviewed by the policy review committee, and because there are very minor details or in some cases no changes, we are not going to have a second hearing or a second reading. We're just going to do a recommender review revision. So the first one is IMGR, animals on school grounds and in school buildings. We just clarified regulations that pertain to animals in school buildings and classroom pets. And the second one, the JLCG and its accompanying regulation, program access for students with disabilities or students with substantially limiting health impairments. We made no changes to that policy. So with that, I would make a motion to approve the review revision of those two policies and their regulations.
So moved. Second. I have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Do you have a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Second. A motion and a second. All those in favor of adjournment signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We are adjourned. Thank you.
here tonight? Oh. Oh. Okay, awesome.
It's time for you to train somebody new.
Well, I didn't hear that because I am planning on it, but I don't even have to do anything till January 31st.
No,
Do you know somebody
was,
running against me?
no, I don't,
No, I'm planning on running again. I just have a lot on my plate. So I'm campaigning as much as I do last time because I can't because I have all this Roy had. Yeah. No, I'm planning on running.
I wasn't looking for anybody, and then someone said,
Feel better.
I'm running again. Don't scare everybody. No, actually make everybody happy.
it scared the bejeebies out of me when I heard it.
No.
You need an address.
Thank you, Rick. No, that's the plan. Thank you. Oh, good. Is it right now?